In our last 3 sessions, we discussed a letter from a woman whose husband hid the condition of the family finances from her. I recommended that she clearly require from him a full disclosure of their finances now and at a specified time every month, but without any irritation or victimhood. I defined the nature of her requirement and suggested how she make the first approach to him. If he wasn't clear initially, she might introduce an accountant to the situation. Now back to the writer of the letter. If your husband is serious about helping you understand the finances, he'll be thrilled at the idea of an accountant helping you both out. But if his object is controlling you and feeling power, which is likely, he'll become very resistant when you mention bringing in an accountant. This would really mess up the whole power and control thing for him, so he'd have to resist you. At that point, you do not argue with him. He wants you to argue with him because without consciously being aware of it, he knows that it puts you on the field of death with him, where temporarily he's in control. He's more skilled on the field of death than you are. He has more tools at his disposal than you do. What he hasn't quite realized yet is that in the end, he still dies. He still gets too much power from what he does to be willing to let it all go. So he still plays there. But you don't have to. So you do not argue. You do not defend. You just state what you're going to do. You say something like this, quote, I understand that you don't want an accountant involved, but I've tried to get a clear explanation of the finances from you, and I've been completely unsuccessful so far. You had 2 options here. You could give me a clear explanation, or you could create a situation where I would have to get a clear explanation somewhere else. The first option has been exhausted, so I will now have to get an explanation from somewhere else, and I have chosen to get it from an accountant. I'm not annoyed about it, but I will get an explanation. It has been my mistake to give you the impression that not having a clear explanation was ever an option. It is not. End quote. Now, at that point, when he sees that you really are quite serious about getting an accountant, one of 2 things will happen. First, he might suddenly come out of his stupor and be able to explain the finances to you. It's amazing what people can do when they realize that they can't keep playing their old tricks. But second, he also might fight you tooth and nail. You really have to be prepared for this. In the absence of sufficient real love, the power he gets from controlling you isn't just entertaining to him. It's not just a hobby. It's life's blood to him. He really needs it, and he doesn't even know he's doing it to you. Then you come along and tell him that you're going to take it all away? Are you kidding? And you think he's not going to fight you for it? So, if he does decide to fight you, possibly with every ounce of energy he has, what can you do? Oh, there's a lot you can do. And we'll talk about that in our next session.